Aegaion the Sea Castrum. This XC monster has a very unique effect, and I believe it has never seen that much play as well. So this card has an effect that reads, well, it takes 2 level 8 monsters to make, and it says during either player's turn, you can banish 1 random face down monster from your opponent's extra deck face up. And if you do, this card's attack becomes equal to the banished monster's attack. And then during either player's turn, you can detach 1 XC material from this card, target 1 of your opponent's banished Fusion, Synchro, or XC's monster, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, destroy 1 monster your opponent controls with the same monster card type. And it's a hard once per turn. So essentially this card has 2 quickies. So it can snipe an extra deck monster from your opponent during your turn, and then again during your opponent's turn. It's all at random, but it's still pretty good. And he's doing this for free, right? It's not his detach effect. And his detach effect is a removal effect, and it doesn't target, which it's a big bonus. So let's talk about the pros of this card. So this card can snipe your opponent's extra deck twice at no cost. It's a non-targeting destruction, it's a good interruption, and it has 3000 defense. And this card can help push OTKs sometimes. It depends on what extra deck monster you hit. If you're playing against like a Galaxy or Blue Eyes deck, you're probably going to hit something very strong, and this thing could be like 3000 or more attack. Let's say you're playing against like Virtual World and you hit a Synchro monster, then now your opponent has to be very careful when they Synchro summon a monster out, because you can quickly get rid of it. They'll have lost all those cards they used to make that Synchro monster. So let's talk about the cons of this card. So the rank 8 XC's pool is amazing, and you may as well go into a different rank 8 that can actually put out a negate or interruption that can protect your cards from being wiped off the field. So you always want to summon this card in defense position, which isn't a bad thing because his defense is 3000. The biggest flaw for this card is that it doesn't have link monsters in its card text, which is a major one because link monsters are really relevant in today's metagame. Now, sniping a link monster is still a big bonus, but offers no further interruption. For example, your opponent plays multiple Isolde and you snipe one during your turn, and during your opponent's turn, your opponent makes another one. You cannot interrupt that second one because this card doesn't have the link text in its card text. You know, this card is kind of a fun gamble. Sometimes you hit like the really good extra deck monster, and your opponent might not have an out to what other monster you have on the field because you got rid of that monster. Unfortunately, this card does not have link monsters in its card text since it was released way before that era of Yu-Gi-Oh! It doesn't have pendulums either. I'm hoping this card will get some kind of errata to add link, but it's not like it sees any play, so nobody's looking at it. Konami's probably not looking at it. And this can also go for other cards that are a bit outdated, like Dimensional Barrier and Amor Factor Pain, the Imagination Draco Overlord. But without the updated text, this card is still pretty good and definitely has its uses, because sniping 2 extra deck monsters from your opponent's extra deck can be very annoying for them. And this card can be fun to use to snipe extra deck monsters from decks that are reliant on it, like Invoked or Shaddoll or Dogmatica. Maybe Dogmatica doesn't need their extra deck, but they do generate advantage from it, and it could potentially dwindle down your opponent's combo if you snipe an extra deck piece that their combo needs. If you decide to test this monster out, let me know and tell me how it went, and if you think a card text update for this card would be a great idea.